These Republicans are so consumed by Dr. Fauci that they've graduated to inventing crimes. Here is Tommy Tuberville, who says Dr. Fauci killed 9 million people, and we're going to put him in prison. And then we'll get to others, Peter Navarro and others. Can any of these losers prove any of this crap? Let's take a look at this first clip.
Happened. You know, I was on the health committee when the COVID first hit. We went through probably every other week, maybe sometimes every month. We had a hearing with Dr. Fauci. We all asked him questions. He lied to us, and he knew he was lying to us because we found out all the information now since then. A lot of it even in his diary, Liz. But the problem is he hurt trust in this country. He put this country in a tailspin. He almost bankrupted our country with what they did. Between Obama and Biden, this guy gets Weasel of the Year award. I mean, he will eventually end up either broke or in prison because I'll tell you what's going to happen. I'm eventually going to be the governor of Alabama. And we had the most of anybody per capita of dying in this country. And we're going to sue the heck out of this guy. He's going to court every day of his life for the rest of his life. And he's going to have to look these people in the face, these families, because the pardon does not cover state government. And we're going to go after him with everything we've got because the guy killed.
Yeah, he might be 95 by the time they work all that stuff through the system.
Or had something to do with killing 9 million people.
Yeah, we can't prove that, right? But that's yet to be determined, how many people are due to that.
We can determine it. No, we can determine it.
The Fox host is terrified about legal liability. We don't really have proof of any of that,
because he was in on the gain of function. He was
You're
the guy
saying
that
you can
funded
determine
this.
it. We understand that, yes. We understand that you want to move to do that. I want to get to...
Well, prove some of it. Prove it. Fauci killed 9 million people? What the hell are you talking about? And the Fox hosts are understanding that these are very radioactive allegations to be making. And this would be the moment to present some of the evidence, explain the crime, identify the 9 million victims of Fauci and demonstrate causality. But he just moves on. And the claim, they sort of treat it as self-evident because evidence has become optional in Republican politics. Here's another clip of Tuberville. And he says, we are going to put him in front of a court and in front of a jury. We're going to try to put him in prison.
Everything, hopefully, in the next 6 months.
This is on Newsmax, by the way.
I'll be the governor of the state of Alabama. And I promise you one thing, we will find out if there's a possibility that we can bring him to Alabama to put him in front of a court and a jury to see if we can
put him in front of a firing squad for all they care.
This guy in prison. He killed millions of people, folks. I mean, this was a catastrophe. And everything.
This guy is campaigning for governor, and he's promising that he will drag Fauci into a courtroom with the goal of dragging him into prison. For what crime? Committed where? Under which Alabama statute? Based on what evidence? He doesn't know. Obviously, governors can't import people they don't like. They can't assemble juries and see if we can find a reason to imprison them. But think of the people out there who are going, oh, man, my cost of living is up. Gas is so expensive. Energy is up. Housing is up. They really need to drag Dr. Fauci in for a hearing. That's really what's going to fix the problems in this country. Here's Peter Navarro. I had 1 million doses of hydroxychloroquine, and Fauci stopped me from giving them to people.
All this stuff with science, Jasmine, I want to emphasize, tells us now works. He was saying didn't work. I had 1 million doses of hydroxychloroquine in warehouses as the defense policy coordinator for the DPA that I was trying to distribute to hospitals, and he got the FDA to stop me from doing that. Thousands of people could be here in this country right now alive if I had been able to distribute that. Take that to the bank. That's what the science says.
Okay.
Wow. Fauci wouldn't let me give out 1 million doses of a medication I didn't know a damn thing about. Wow. Poor me. Peter Navarro is a mediocre economist, okay? Not a doctor, not a pharmacologist, not an infectious disease specialist. The FDA revoked hydroxychloroquine's emergency authorization because we had clinical evidence that showed it doesn't do anything good for people in the hospital with COVID. And there are risks. There are cardiac complications. Navarro's story makes Fauci sound responsible for something bad. And you had a lot of political operatives that wanted to push an ineffective medication into hospitals. And fortunately, public health officials stopped them from doing it. Maybe Fauci did really save millions of lives, as I'm hearing this story from Peter Navarro. These people believe that this is what's going to save them in the midterms. They've lost on the economy. They've presented no credible argument for why any of them deserve to be reelected, or for Republicans that are running from scratch to be elected for the first time. And so they're going with, look at what Fauci did 7 years ago, when, by the way, Trump was president. And let's see if we can somehow use this hearing to clip farm and justify people voting for us for reasons we can't even really think about or explain. Pathetic people. And after the break, we're going to get into some of the meat of why they are so panicked. Thanks for watching. Check out this other video. And if you like our content, make sure to subscribe so YouTube puts our videos in your feed, and subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and Apple.